So this week I got lucky in the sweepstake in the office for going out and doing reviews. I got the invite to the Jeep launch of their new product. And this new product is pretty amazing. You probably know Jeep for off-roaders. I mean, the Willys Jeep is synonymous the world over with one of the most fantastic off-road cars. And then more recently, the Wrangler and the Rubicon and so on and so on. I mean, they're an amazing off-road capable vehicle. But one thing Jeep aren't known for are the electric cars. They've just produced an amazing electric car. This is called the Jeep Avenger, and it is the first all-electric off-roader that Jeep have decided to produce. And I've been invited down to the launch, and wow, what an amazing launch it has been. Incredible. So, as I say, it's the first time that Jeep have decided to produce an all-electric off-road car. So it's got to be good. It's got to live up to the reputation. It's got a lot of history behind it. And I was a little bit dubious about whether it could actually live up to that. But this first car, which is only two-wheel drive, this first car, the four-wheel drive is coming next year in 2024. So this, even more to live up to. But wow, can it do it? What a comfortable, amazing car. There are 3 different trim levels. So in the Avenger range, you've got the Longitude, which starts at around £35,000, your entry-level price. Then you've got the Altitude, because we're going up the trim levels, Altitude, get it guys? That starts from around £37,000. And finally, the car that I'm driving today is called the Summit. Top of the range kitchen sink level starts at around 39,000 UK pounds, but you get a lot of bang for your buck with this car. Let's get round it, let's have a look at it and see what we think of the new Jeep all-electric Avenger, and I'll give you my opinion. In between time, if you've never watched me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel before, then please feast your eyes for the next minute and a half on our little trailer, because we don't just do car reviews, as you'll see. And straight after that, I'll get back to you with a review on the Jeep Avenger. This is how a car should sound. Listen to this. I didn't really push it either. I was just having a bit of fun. Oh, really? Wheel spring? Outside. Cool. So there you have it, guys. The Ferrari Roma. My birthday present. Go. We're going to meet the crew and hopefully get the thing. That's a real one. Hosting.
I think it makes a good word.
Let's go,
nice
mate.
to start.
Nice to see you. Show us your big chopper, your helicopter. So here we are, the Morgan Roadster, where we're here for the Swiss Watch Show. Guys, guess what? It's another morning here out in sunny France. So, as I mentioned, there are 3 different trim levels with your new Jeep Avenger. And this car, as I also mentioned, is the Summit, the top of the range. And with the top of the range, you do get a number of differences. First up, you will get 18-inch alloys, which are absolutely lovely. You've got a choice of 3 different rims on these. Entry-level car comes with 16-inch and your mid-range car comes with 17-inch, so quite easy to differentiate. But you can upgrade any one of the cars, you can just choose those rims as and when you want. Colour-wise, now all cars come with 7 different colour choices. If you like ruby red, comes as part of the price. Any of the other colours start from £790 extra. Just remember that. And they do bi-colour. Careful, Andy, know where you're going with that. So you get this like lovely bumblebee colour and a black roof. And you can do that pretty much with all the colours. But again, that will be priced accordingly. All cars do come with LED headlights that have got the auto dip beam function on them. You also get LED fog lights on this as well, which is really nice. Moving swiftly on, you get a automatic windscreen wiper because it senses when it's going to be rainy and it will start doing that for you. That's on the entry-level car as well. What you don't get on the entry-level car is the privacy glass around the back here, and you won't get these lovely big black shiny mirrors that fold in and protect them, and also they heat up in the winter. Round at the back you've got LED rear lights as well. You must remember that because they've got that lovely little cross on them. If you look at it, that is mirrored to the original Willys Jeep petrol can. There's a little cross that was on there, and that's the design of those lights has been incorporated all the way through the range since the last few years. Really nice little nostalgic touch there. All in for the Summit, you will be paying that little bit extra in money, but I think at the end of the day, when you look at the car, it's well worth it. Round at the back of the Jeep Avenger, there's some quite nice styling on this car. Again, I will reiterate, this is the top of the range, the Summit, so it gets a couple of nice extra little bits and pieces like the electronically assisted tail lift. But before I open it up, just want you to take a look around the bottom here. No fake exhausts or anything like that, because it's electric, and that's why it's got that little E on the side there, which is very nice. I do like the styling, the aero on the top here, that spoiler's really nice. You've got the built-in brake light there, the privacy glass, and that lovely floaty windscreen at the back, or rear screen, however you want to call it, and you get a wash white with it as well. Right, let's take a look inside. As I said, with the top of the range, you do get the electronically assisted tail lift. You've got 355 litres of boot space in here. It's not the biggest, guys, I must admit. You've got the inevitable parcel shelf. I'm going to whip that out because if you are a bit of a Jeeper, as they call them, people who own Jeeps, you're not really going to want your parcel shelf in because it's always going to be in the way when you're putting your bike in here, or your folded up kayak man, if you get my drift. However, Jeep have thought of this, and what you can do, you just pop that up there like that, it'll hold itself up, turn that upside down, and then you can just feed this in like this, and it'll go underneath there, pop that down there like that, and then drop this back down. Everything's very tight, guys, because this is a rather new car, and there you have it, it's disappeared underneath. So it's a split level boot on this, or split level floor, should we say. So if you didn't want this in there, that parcel shelf, you should, well, basically just whip them out. And to be honest, you know what? You can just, I'll throw it out the way because they're completely bloody useless anyway. Right, so under here, we're going to get this out so you can see in here properly. Not going to throw that because that is functional. Down here, I was hoping, being an off-road car, we'd have a spare wheel. But unfortunately, when I got underneath here, there's no room for a spare wheel. There's nothing in there. Basically, you've got the little pump and that horrible latex stuff in here. I can't even get it out of the pannier. I'm going to pull it out and show you. So you get a little pod of latex, that's the rubber stuff. Guys, throw this away. It is completely useless, utterly useless. It ruins your tyre if you've got a puncture. It doesn't work. The pump is the only good thing that you've got, and you can use that to pump up your kayak. There you go, you see what I mean? I knew there was a reason for that. But seriously, on a serious note, get yourself a set of run flats. It's going to be, in the broader scheme of things, you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache, trust me. Seats down on this car will give you over 1,000 litres of boot space. Again, it's not massive, but you will get a bicycle in here or two without the front wheel on there. Now, that's important. One thing that's good about this car is your height, the actual load space itself. There's a couple of places to hang shopping bags, but, and this is the biggest one of all, I was really shocked at this, there is no 12-volt adapter in the back here. So anything you want to plug in and run off the back, you're going to have to go around the front and use the front one. Doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, at the end of the day, it's still a versatile little car. It's got plenty of space in there for your average days out. Right, so here we are in the back. See what it's like for the passengers in the Jeep Avenger. Well, as the Bishop said to the actress, it's rather tight. It is very tight in here, actually. You do have plenty of room underneath that front seat to put your feet in there, and there is there's room enough because the seat itself is actually scalloped back, so it does give you that little bit of extra knee room, but it does just feel a little bit tight. Great headroom in here. I wasn't expecting that. I thought with the look of the car, it looks like it slopes back, but it actually doesn't. It's quite wide, so you're going to be fine in there no matter how tall you are. It's really good. Again, I will mention we are in the top of the range, so it's got the privacy glass in there, which keeps it nice and cool during the summer. It's also, you know, just really nice to have privacy glass around the back. I think it looks cool, especially with this bumblebee yellow as well. This car benefits from the full leather. Now, the full leather, if you want to go for it, is an extra 900 UK pounds, no matter what trim level you go for. I think you're better off sticking with the fabric. When you look at that, it actually looks nicer than the leather. I think this is a little bit old-fashioned now. I quite like the actual fabric that they do. It's called something scuba or something like that. It's really cool. In the centre here, penny pinching Jeep. Come on, one USB what's going to happen? I've got two kids in the back here. One's running out of charge. The other one wants to plug in, and they're going to end up having, you know, loads and loads of grief. It's just not worth it. 2 USBs in the back, minimum. There's no rear air conditioning unit. Wasn't expecting that. Could have done with a couple of vents. That would have been nice. A vent either side and 2 USBs. Just a personal comment, you know. You've got your ISOFIX points down here. I like these ones. These are the ones where they're hidden behind a zip. Now that's really nice. I hate the plastic ones that pop out because you lose them and they end up costing you money when you sell the car. You have to pay for a whole new set. Can't just buy one, sir. So I like this idea. Recessed seat belt's really nice. There's no centre armrest. That's another thing which I would have liked to have seen in the top of the range. Would have been nice. Maybe not on the entry level car, but top of the range here would have been nice to have had an armrest with a double cup holder in. But all in all, generally, really, there's no one thing I did notice. No granny's fishnet stockings in here. The Jeep has actually finished it properly with some proper pockets in the back here. You can see out quite nicely. It sits quite high, and all in all, yeah, it's comfortable. I don't think I'd be averse to going on a reasonable couple of hours sitting in here. Let's just check before I finish. Quite a high transmission tunnel in the middle there, but I will just jump over and show you. You will get easily 3 people across the back here. So if you want to give friends and family a lift home from the local bar or pub or the restaurant, you're not going to have a problem in here, and I don't think they'll be complaining, because half the time the reason they're getting a lift home is because they've had more to drink than you. Anyway, it's all good in the back here for the passengers in the Jeep Avenger. When you get out on the road in the Jeep Avenger, the first thing you're going to notice, it feels like a Jeep. It really does. And it's super, super quiet. I thought when I noticed that this car is carrying the bigger rims, because on your entry-level car you get the 16-inch rims, middle range car 17, these are the 18s. I thought I'm going to get quite a bit of road noise, because it's one thing that when people test electric cars, the first thing they notice, you hear the road noises and the wind noise, because there's no engine or gearbox or anything to make any other noise. So you do become a little bit more attuned to little things. But this car is just so super smooth and quiet. There's no wind resistance. It's very well insulated, this car, as well, so you can't get any road noise coming back through in the car, and it really is very comfortable. That's another thing I've noticed. I've been driving this for a couple of hours now, because we've been out all day on testing these cars, and I've literally sat here for nearly 2 hours, and I am super, super comfortable. So I'm well impressed with the way this car has been set up. Let's talk a little bit about range. It is an electric car. We need to sort of discuss the range. Day-to-day driving in this car around town, urban and your distance driving combined, you could get up to around about 342 miles in range. Now we're getting into Tesla area there with a car. Basically, it's designed as an off-roader. That's what it was originally designed as. And then basically, if you're driving on distance driving, so motorways, dual carriage, you get around about 240, because you don't get as much regen. Now the regen on some electric cars you can set up using paddles here, but this car doesn't have the paddles. What you do have is a B button down next to your drive button here. If you double push the drive button, you go into the B mode, and that will give you the maximum regen. It's not as good in this car as I have noticed in other cars when you can set it to max on the paddles, but nevertheless you are getting the regen on this, and so far, I mean, it's doing what it says on the tin. It is a brand new car, so therefore, it's going to give you a maximum when it comes to the range, because over a period of time, obviously the battery depletes a little bit, the cells go down, you get a little bit less range. Like a mobile phone, when you first buy it, you get the full charge out of it, and it lasts for days. And then come a year, maybe a year and a half, you have to start charging it a little bit more often. It's very, very, well, it's exactly the same. It's a polymer lithium battery at the end of the day. So we've got the range. That's pretty good. What's it like performance-wise? Well, it'll do 0 to 60 in around about 9 seconds. It's not going to blow you away when it comes to that. Top speed around about 93 miles an hour. Again, you're not expecting this car to do high speeds. It's not designed for that. But one thing I've noticed, this car, its capabilities as a two-wheel drive car is just simply incredible. It's got a lot of safety tech built into this car as well. You've got, with the top of the range, this is the Summit, I mentioned that earlier. Top of the range gets the blind spot mirrors, you've got the cruise control, you've got the speed limiter, you've got the lane keeping, the distance control, lane departure warning, tyre pressure warning. It's all built in. I love the 10.2-inch digital cluster. Love it to bits. Really, really nice and easy to use and to switch around here with all your little buttons on the right hand side. You've got your Ask Jeep button, or Ask Your Jeepers button. I had to say that, didn't I? And then you've got your telephone button and your volume button up and down. So this is pretty much your media section on the right here. The left-hand side here is all your driver controls. So you've got your lane keeper, your distance control there, and you can set all that very, very, very easy. A little toggle switch at the top there. You have 6 different driving modes in this car. So your driving modes are here. You push them once. You've got normal, which is what I'm driving in at the moment. Then you've got a sport mode if you go up one. Sport mode is going to give you full power. Look at that. It will just go really good for a Jeep at the end of the day. I wasn't expecting that. And then you drop down again, go past the eco. You then go into sand mode, because this is obviously an all-wheel drive, well, an off-road car. It's not an all-wheel drive car, because it will be in 2024. And then you drop down into snow mode, giving you even more grip. And then you have another little extra on this car, which I really love. You've got the hill descent control button, which is over here on the left-hand drive. So this will help you when you get into slippery situations or difficult situations. Then you can use the hill descent control system to help you down the hill, and then you won't slip and move. And it would literally, you can take your hands off, take your feet off, and let the car just take you down the hill. So it's a proper Jeep at the end of the day, and I think that's above all what Jeep wanted. They want us to, enjoy it as a Jeep. But it's really going to appeal to people who are, eco-conscious, shall we say, want to be kind to the polar bears a bit. But at the same time, electric car around town, it really does benefit in a lot of places. It's comfortable, it's practical. I love the look of it. It's minimalist design. Am I keen on the colour? I can live with the colour on this particular car. But all in all, Jeep, I think you've absolutely nailed it when it comes to the first off-road electric vehicle that I have ever driven.